Alrighty, happy Sunday night, everybody. I'm NBC Connecticut Storm Tracker meteorologist Anthony Carpino. We're going to walk you guys through what we're seeing out there tonight. We still have some snow showers going on right now, and we're going to talk about what we've seen so far in the way of accumulation. Of course, let me know what you guys are seeing outside. Love to see what you guys are seeing out there as well. For us in West Hartford at the station here, we picked up just over about an inch of snow so far tonight, and we're going to add to that just a little bit more as we go through this evening. Let's start with what we've seen so far tonight as far as those alerts. So still continuing to talk about winter weather advisories, not only for Connecticut, but also for pretty much the rest of southern New England there. So Rhode Island, all of Massachusetts there, the exception of Nantucket, and then even down through New York City, including Long Island as well. These will actually continue all the way through tonight and then expire early Monday morning. So we're still talking about some snow showers left over by the morning. The good news is the bulk of the snow is going to be over there for us. So that's some good news. Let's talk about the snowfall reports, what we've seen so far. We'll go through a couple of these, of course. At any time, you guys can let me know what you guys are seeing. Just drop a comment in the comment section there, and I can pull it up and I can view it for everyone. So let's see what we've noticed so far. So the Hartford area, generally about an inch or so. So Wethersfield, about an inch. Same thing as we go toward Windsor, and then also along the Connecticut shoreline. Let's see there. Guilford accumulated 2 inches. Let's see, about an inch or so in Clinton. Let me actually get rid of. There we go. So about an inch in Clinton. Go out toward Danbury. This is from a little bit earlier today, about an inch and a half, just over an inch and a half. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were closer, perhaps to about 2 inches now that we've seen just a little bit more snow there. West Hartford, there you go. That's our report there of about an inch. We've seen the highest snowfalls totals, at least so far tonight. You got to go to eastern Massachusetts, where they've actually had a couple good steady snow bands. So we zoom out the picture a little bit more here, and this is where you can see those darker shadings of color. At least right now, it looks like one stronger snow band just outside of Boston. You also look on the eastern end of Massachusetts as well. But we'll pause the radar here. We'll zoom in a little bit, because there does look to be a decent little snow band set up just to the southeast of Hartford. So you go along Route 2, between Route 2 and Route 9 there. So Middletown, getting closer to Marlborough, East Hampton, Hebron, Andover, maybe even through sections of Bolton. And that, might actually stretch up through Coventry, Tolland, and then looks like maybe, even Wellington. You notice those darker shades of blue there. So that indicates where we could see some heavier snowfall so far. At least right now, the Hartford area looks like it's just getting a little bit of a break, but that could still fill in, because we still have some snow showers just off to the west there. So we're going to slowly start to wrap this up as we head through the rest of tonight. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, I think tomorrow morning, maybe a few flurries left over, but that's going to be about it. We take you outside over Ski Sundown, where the lights are on and folks are enjoying the fresh powder and getting in some skiing, some snowboarding there. So taking full advantage of the winter weather. Temperature-wise, and this is important, our temperatures are hanging on to just about freezing for a good majority of us, with the exception, a little bit cooler already in northwestern Connecticut, 24, 28, 27 from Norfolk there down through New Milford. But that 32-degree temperature created that stickier snow for us. And we're also going to see, when you go to shovel that later on, it's going to be a little bit heavier than some of the storms that we've gotten so far this season. So let's go through the rest of tonight. We'll talk about those snow showers. There you go, starting to wind down as we move past midnight, mainly focusing in central and eastern areas of Connecticut. So there you go. 2, 3, 4 a.m., just a few little snow showers left over, and that continues roughly until about 7, and then we're completely done. And tomorrow we're actually going to have a good bit of sunshine by the early afternoon. Low temperatures tonight back down to the lower 20s, close to 23 for the Hartford area, and upper 20s along the Connecticut shoreline. Still a few snow showers left over by tomorrow morning, but we're going to be in much better shape. but it will stay a little bit cooler. So temperature-wise, going to be close to about 30, with some spots staying in the upper 20s by the afternoon. So if you have the day off tomorrow for Martin Luther King Day, if you're hitting the slopes, that's going to be a great day for that. Any outdoor winter activities there, I think you'll be in great shape. Let's talk a little bit more about what we can expect for the week ahead, because we will have some changes for us as we head into the next few days here. So I already can see. So tonight's storm wasn't a big snow producer. Yeah, no, Sal, it really wasn't. And I was live earlier this afternoon, and I was mentioning how the storm that we got yesterday would actually end up being a bigger storm, and that one was the overproducer for. So, yesterday we had some reports over 6 inches of snow, and yeah, tonight we've kind of struggled to get even a few inches of snow, and that's really kind of shifted further off to our east. So definitely there, keeping an eye on those snow bands. That's definitely important for us. Let's continue talking about this upcoming week, because we will have some changes. It will feel more like January for us. So as far as the next few days are concerned, Monday, not awful for, January standards there, close to about 30, but we drop to the lower 20s for high temperatures on Tuesday, stay in the 20s on Wednesday. We're briefly mild on Thursday, and then we just plummet as we head into the following weekend. Now, my forecast has temperatures about 23 degrees next Saturday, 20 on Sunday. I will say those are very conservative numbers. They're heavying more on the warmer side. I've seen numbers for next weekend where we're talking about high temperatures in the afternoon only in the teens. So we could be talking about some pretty decent cold that will move in by the end of the upcoming week, and then going into the weekend and the following week there. Now for Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, we'll notice those temperatures falling to the teens, but we'll also have just a little bit of wind that we're going to be dealing with. So tomorrow, gusts anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour. Not awful. We'll feel more like the 20s out there. By Tuesday morning, still seeing some winds gusting 15 to 20, and then maybe even up to 25 by the afternoon. Doesn't sound too bad until you factor in the temperatures. So feels like temperatures Tuesday afternoon, that's chilly. That is cold. Feeling more like the single digits to, lower teens there, tens and teens for Tuesday afternoon. And then by Wednesday morning, our winds will try to calm down a little bit, but even a light breeze will make it feel that much colder. So feeling like near zero by Wednesday morning. So that will definitely be a little bit of a shock to the system a little bit there. So you're going to feel like winter for sure. And even as we wrap up the month of January, take a look at all the cold. Of course, centered over the northern half of the country, especially for us here in New England, and then going through the Midwest. But that cooler than average air falls all the way down more or less to the Gulf Coast states, with the exception of, the southern end of Florida and then the southwestern part of the country. Places like California, Arizona, Nevada, they will stay their average, at least above average a little bit as we wrap up January. So we're going to wrap up this month on a colder note for us, especially as we move into next week. Some of those temperatures are a little wild there. So let's talk about the next 10 days. Here's what you can expect. Martin Luther King Day tomorrow, any outdoor winter activities that you're going to be doing, great shape there. I think we'll have a good bit of sunshine, a few clouds at times, of course, but temperatures about 30, falling back to the teens by Tuesday morning, but of course, feeling colder than that. 23 for the high on Tuesday, single digits waking up on Wednesday. So feels like temperatures more or less approaching zero for us. We briefly warm up on Thursday. We'll keep an eye on a system that will be nearby. It looks like most of that snow activity as of now is off to our north, but something to keep an eye on for us there. Either way, a few isolated snow showers, not a big deal. Then as we move into the upcoming weekend, those numbers, again, those are still on the warmer side from what I've seen. So we're keeping it in the lower 20s. That on itself is pretty chilly, but we could be even talking about colder temperatures there. There have also been a few hints that we could end up seeing a system next weekend as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. But look at those morning temperatures. Next Sunday morning, actual temperature of 4 degrees. That is cold for sure. And then we stay in the low to mid 20s moving through the following week as well. The Connecticut shoreline also is pretty similar with some of those cooler temperatures. Instead of single digits, we're talking about teens during those mornings. Either way, that's still pretty chilly for us. And if you're at the shore and there's a little bit of a breeze, then you definitely end up, feeling a little bit colder there for sure. Looks like you guys are letting us know a few snow reports here. Krista says steady snow in Colchester, about 3 to 4 inches of snow. All right, great. So that was right where we were expecting that. If you guys have any photos too that you guys have seen, we've gotten a lot of photos of everyone building snowmen from all the snow that we've seen the last couple of days. So thanks so much for sending all of that into us. We're going to be showing some of those photos tonight on the news at 11 o'clock, and we'll be on air at 11 o'clock for that as well. Let's see. I heard something about a blizzard this month. Well, that's news to me. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll have to see how next weekend shakes up. But whenever I look at, about a week ahead, if there's only one model that wants, a big storm, that there's probably not that much stock into it. So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll have to talk about a storm for February. Still got plenty of time for winter to go. Is it going to snow all night? So it will slowly start to wrap up as we get past midnight. So Jill, by tomorrow morning, just a few little snow showers out there. So we'll keep an eye on those little bits of snow. If you're in Western Connecticut, I wouldn't imagine that you're going to get too much more in the way of snow as we head through the rest of tonight. I think we'll get maybe a couple more inches out of this in Eastern Connecticut, but this is slowly wrapping up. If you're in the western half of Connecticut, I'll bring back the radar here, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, let's see. We have about 5 or 6 inches of snow here in Bethany. So is that total, or is that just from today? We got that snow from yesterday, then we kind of add on top of it. So there's some spots actually pretty decent snowpack for us, and it's really not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. We're going to keep this snow on the ground at least all the way through Thursday. We'll see how much of it melts by Thursday. If you still have snow after Thursday, I think it will stay on the ground for a little bit longer for us. Let's see. Any other questions here? Are you expecting this to ice over tonight for people working tomorrow morning? So we'll definitely have that potential for some slippery spots by tomorrow morning, especially for those roads that are treated, but the salt kind of wears out a little bit there. Our temperatures will end up falling back down to the lower 20s. So anything that's not treated will definitely have that chance to kind of ice back over a little bit. I don't think we're going to, for folks that have to go out and about in the morning, I think we'll be in decent shape there, but there definitely could be some slick spots out on the roadways there. Quentin says not too much snow to talk about in Naugatuck, the Waterbury area. Yeah, that's I'm trying to find a lot of snow reports for us, and this is about all I have right now. We might have added a couple others since we looked at this last. Let's see here. Shelton, about 3 inches of snow there, so we're getting a little bit higher. We're going to add a little bit more to this again as we go through the next couple of hours. Let's go to, I think that's a Tolland report there, close to 1 inch of snow. So again, slowly adding to these as we head through tonight. But again, let us know what you're seeing out there. Would love to know, especially if you're in Eastern Connecticut. I'm very curious to see how much snow you guys have gotten. And it looks like that was the total yesterday and today. So yeah, you guys have a nice healthy snowpack on the ground. We love that. Snowing pretty good in Durham. So let me switch this back over to radar. And let me pause this here too. So this is our composite radar. So this is whenever you see, it looks just a little bit different than when I switch this over to using, this type of radar, just one radar at a time. So it's essentially taking the average of each radar site. But what that allows me to do is sees it a little bit clearer. And at least in this case, you can see it's easier to tell where you're getting those heavier snow amounts right now. So some heavier pockets there, Mansfield all the way up through Ashford, Willington, and then maybe just on the south end of Stafford or maybe just outside of Union as well. And then we go further down and then you can see, maybe even outside of New Haven also, Milford, Ansonia, just outside of New Haven, a little pocket there. Not too much right now in the Hartford area, but as you can see, just off to our west, well, that's the backside of the system. So we're already starting to kind of, work this out of our system a little bit there. Dominic says, what's the model saying for snow next weekend? It's been back and forth, and I'm really not putting any stock into it right now. I took down most of the snow chances for next weekend just because it's so uncertain for us, but we'll keep an eye on it. And as soon as we have a better idea of it, we'll keep you guys posted, because it's winter after all. So we want to know when the snow is going to be moving in. Great question, Charlotte. When do we need to shovel? Depends on where you are, Charlotte. So if you're in the western half of the state, I would say go ahead and, shovel out the driveway right now. Put the salt down, and then any little bit of snow that falls should end up melting off with that salt there. If you're in the eastern half of the state, I would wait a little bit longer, or just wait till tomorrow morning to shovel, and then put some salt down there. If you shovel everything right now and you don't put enough salt, if you put just a little bit, enough where it, wets the driveway, but it really doesn't, add that much salt to it, that could have the potential to freeze up a little bit by the morning. So depending on where you are across the state, I would say tomorrow morning, if you have that kind of glaze already with the snow, shovel it off, put some salt down. I think that would be a little less slippery there. But if you don't want to get up early before you might have to go to work or not, maybe do it now. So either way, just make sure you put a good bit of salt down, and you'll be in good shape there. It's been coming down at a pretty good clip in Groton. So I've been really interested in Eastern Connecticut, because we've been talking about those heavier snow bands that have been moving in. We've seen that in portions of Eastern Rhode Island there, in sections of Eastern Mass, and we've been just watching those just graze by a little bit. So I was very curious about Eastern Connecticut. So Catherine, let me know maybe like an estimate of how much snow you guys have seen so far tonight too. Victoria says, hi, Anthony, in Middletown, it's coming down pretty good as well. Love to hear it. So thanks so much for that, Victoria. When will it stop snowing in Waterbury? So I would give it another roughly hour and a half. Maybe let's just call it all the way through about midnight or so. We'll still have a few on and off lighter snow showers as we go through that overnight period, but the bulk of the snow is going to start to wind down. It's already starting to do that in Western Connecticut there, right along the New York border. However, if you are in places along the shore from Bridgeport through New Haven, it looks like it's coming down pretty good right now. And yeah, in the Middletown area, just outside of Middletown, also looks like it's coming down at a pretty decent clip as well. So we're just going to see more of that snow continue for us, at least for, again, the next couple of hours. And then by the morning, most of this is going to be out of here. Columbia, when it will stop in Columbia. So you guys are a little bit further off to the east there. So let's actually just see what it's doing in Columbia right now. I would give it, past midnight into the early morning hours of Monday before it's going to be completely done for you guys. Jackie says 2 to 4 inches on the Bosra Norwich line. So yeah, just favored Eastern Connecticut a little bit more than what we've been talking about. So we had 3 to 5 inches. I knew 5 inches might be a little bit of a stretch there. But when you come off of a overproducer like what we saw yesterday, I thought 5 was still in that, margin of error a little bit there. So 2 to 4 inches, we'll take it. Jackie, thanks so much for sending in that report. And I really do appreciate the snowfall reports, because we only see it, a few at a time. Let's see here. Hamden is awful. Are the roads awful? Is it coming down pretty heavy? Let me know what you're seeing out there. Let's see. So other questions here. Again, when will it stop in the Waterbury area? So again, give it until about midnight. If you're in Western Connecticut, or let's say if you're to the west of Route 8, so Torrington, Waterbury, and then, points west of there, I would give it until about midnight, until you guys are pretty much done. The Hartford area, probably another hour after that. And then Eastern Connecticut, closer to 2 or about 3 o'clock in the morning there. So what I can actually do is go through Future Radar. How about that? That'll, I think, answer everyone's questions if you can all see it here. So let's continue through tonight. We'll get closer to 10 10:30 there, slowly moving out. By 1 a.m., you can see still snowing in eastern Connecticut, but the majority of the snow is done for the western half of the state. And then we slowly dwindle away those little snow showers by tomorrow morning. But there could be a few snow showers still by 7 a.m. So something for us to watch as we move through tonight. Getting icy in Hamden there. Yeah, so I actually talked to a couple of friends that they were driving around, and then some of the folks here at the station that were on their dinner break kind of coming back and forth, saying that it is a little bit slick out there for sure. And when you have the wet snow that we've been dealing with, it falls to the ground, and if the pavement is just a little bit warm, it melts it a little bit easier, and there's that slushy layer. And then when things start to get cold, well, that can also start to freeze up. So the crews are going to be busy as we go through the rest of tonight and then through early tomorrow morning. Let's see. Right across the street from us, Corbin's Corner, say a total of 4 inches. So it must have picked up a good bit from the last time I stepped outside. So I'm going to have to go out and check again. That would be great if we had about 4 inches out there. Let's see. I think I answered everyone's questions here. Again, guys, any kind of photos that you have of the snow coming down tonight, would love to see them. We'll try to show them tonight on the news at 11 o'clock. Wrapping this all up, snow will continue as we head through tonight. Eastern Connecticut, especially for the next couple of hours. If you're in Western Connecticut, give it until about midnight or so, and most of it will be done for you. The other story as we go through the upcoming week will be colder temperatures. Tuesday, Wednesday, temperatures in the 20s, feels like temperatures in the teens, and then morning temperatures and feels like temperatures in the single digits. So chilly temps will be on the way for us, and then maybe even colder weather by next weekend and into the following week. But I'll break down the forecast again coming up on the news at 11 o'clock. So I just want to say thanks so much for everyone's snow reports. And for all the photos that you guys have sent in. They're always a big help, so really appreciate it. Well, that's going to do it for me here on NBC Connecticut's streaming channels, my Facebook channels as well. Really appreciate you guys watching and following along with us, but that's going to do it for me here live on Facebook and on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you on NBC Connecticut coming up at 11 o'clock.